Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. They'll get this one complete to Zay Jones. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Desmond Trufant there making the tackle. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the steel curtain was playing. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Cameron Meredith, the intended target. And now it's 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. They're going to look to throw. It's caught. Jones. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Watch it now, Barney!
Back to the ground, it's Kamara. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard, stop short of the 35.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping Those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. The tackle made there by Tack McKinley.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Detroit! 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 Over, 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 over! Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
They'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A strong broken tackle on that one. And then they get him to the ground just shy of the 15.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On the ground, this is Kamara. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And a loss of 3 to bring up fourth.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
Huh? You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out that just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just wondering why they said that. I have no idea.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
No, check, Patriot! Patriot! Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Back 99 Philly, here we go!
On 2nd down, Freeman. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now a play fake here on first down. Now he'll let it go deep down the left sideline. It's caught inside the 25. A gain of 39 that time.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Open space inside the 10, and he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons have taken the early lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Lucky 56.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now back to throw. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Over!
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Taken in at the 22. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2 as they take over following the punt with a 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Rolling to his left. Incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Gone! Back 99 Philly, here we go!
They'll set up to throw. Now he's flushed out right. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. This will be taken at the 10. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets him 8.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
No, check, Patriot!
Now they'll throw here, out of the gun. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Watch him now, Barney!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, the Saints were able to hold on to it, so they will indeed keep possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Gun!
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. Vic Beasley with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Detroit!
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And Davis has it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On play action, they'll throw. Past the 20. To the right and complete to Galladay. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons are in for 6. He'll look to throw. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. In for the score. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And a great example there of just getting the feet in a tough spot. It seems like every year these guys get better at this.
Well, I think the drills get better, that they work on training camp, off-season work, OTAs. But also, a lot of these guys have dance backgrounds, ballet backgrounds, and they take that and carry it over to the football field.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Back to throw. And Jones has it over the middle. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
Nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it, but he picks up additional yardage after it.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. He's got his man. It's Brandon Coleman. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. A give. This is Kamara. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. There's a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 2 minutes to go here in the 1st half. We're back to New Orleans after this. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. He'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
The Saints on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll drop to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Pass incomplete. Kenny Golladay is intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Trying to lay one up deep. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slam.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
One play has them up past the 40 already and another 1st and 10.
Over! Detroit!
Back to throw now on 1st down. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. They'll look to throw here. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
The Saints on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. And the Falcons going to use another timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this one will wind up being down just outside of that 20-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Well, maybe that can give them a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3. But now it's 3rd down. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Now, Barney!
They'll throw now on the final play. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we are at halftime here on Halloween. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
Let's see how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Back to throw here. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long.
56. Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Uncorks one for Davis. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there. 84 yards. And the Falcons will extend their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney. Back 99 Philly. Here we go. 45. Gun.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
The Saints on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd down and 12.
Over.
Now a pitch out to Kamara. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big run there, 29 yards and a first.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football, caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
Watch him now, Barney.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On 2nd down, Kamara. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. The Saints on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. He'll drop to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And here now come the Falcons. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And that is incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Davis. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll look to throw, and he'll find Galladay. That's complete. He's up to 87 yards receiving now, and it's a 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Now back to throw. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So that one will be accepted. Maybe worse than the loss of yardage, they also lose the down. So now it's 3rd and long.
Detroit!
Looking to throw. Outright. Run, but he's got a long way to go. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
How about that shuffle pass? Or if you want to call it the shovel pass, that's fine too. That's one of those plays that you can take a little bit of risk there because you're trying to throw the ball into the middle of the field where a lot of big bodies lurk, and they can knock it away, pick it off, but they were able to execute it successfully on that play.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. Back now here on EA Sports. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Oh, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his 2nd there. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
The Saints on 3rd down. They've converted 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 9. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Quan Alexander in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Quan Alexander in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. That one good for 10 yards. And that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Look, the 1st down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it. And boy, the reward was there. A big pickup. And guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a 1st down. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what I think
that factored in.
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Back to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. Now Zerline on and the extra point. Zerline good with a PAT. And the lead will swell by 1 more. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And down it goes just shy of the 25. Now a penalty marker is down. Let's see what that's about. Now, this is going to put them back with not great field position.
So they really got 0 benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
They run it again with Kamara. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. The safety, Landon Collins, there to make the tackle. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
3 down.
On 3rd down, here's Kamara. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Let's take it inside his own 40. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive, as it'll begin in enemy territory already. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
51, Mike! Mike, 51!
Now the pitch to Freeman. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, giving them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why they're points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 6. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that 1st. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll look to run with Freeman. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. They go option right on 2nd and goal. They get it to him running left. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road